My name is Masko Mayahara. I'm a proud certified hospice and palliative nurse. I have a long history with this organization. I really came from Japan because I struggle with pain management, and I witnessed patients die in pain, and I just wanted to know better way to manage pain. And hospice and palliative care was just really infant state at that time, and I really searched for the answers. There's a way for me to learn about this, and it's really such a blessing to get to know this organization. It's helped me tremendously. Currently, I am an assistant professor at the Rush University College of Nursing. I teach hospice and palliative care to both nursing students and medical students. And yesterday, it was really, I was really enjoy hearing you describe hospice and palliative nursing. I just really blown away how people capture the essence, core essence of who we are. And I think certification is something we really need to have to foster the hospice and palliative nursing. So first I have to say I have a no disclosure statement, and today's objectives is really talk about the benefit and of specialty certification, and also how many of you have recertified, have used this? Okay, so we have a couple of people who used the HPR process. This is really new, and the HPCC board member just initiated a change. So this is a really brand new information. And all of you are nursing leaders. So this is not so much of an educational session, but this is information I want you to take it to your chapters and share with your chapter members. So yesterday we talked a lot about being a hospice and palliative nurse. And this is the definition listed by HPCC. Nursing care for the patient and the family with emphasis on physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual needs when experiencing a serious illness through bereavement. Accomplished in collaboration with an interdisciplinary team in any setting. This is really easy said and done, right? We all struggle, right? So I was quoting Ginger Marshall's article. That's really essence of why we want to be certified. If patient asks you, how can I trust you? You can say, I'm certified in hospice and palliative nursing, and that's really give you a power and the validity of what you do. We are really fortunate to have a wonderful organization to support what we do. This certification was actually developed by HPCC in 1993. Anybody certified in 93? So it's been around for a while, and the first one was given in 1994. And believe it or not, we have 18,000 nurses who are certified in this field. Can you believe? Yeah, we're talking about the nursing shortage and how difficult to do this, and but we have 18,000 individuals who are certified. So why it's important for us to be certified? It's because this is a way to demonstrate our advanced education, knowledge, and competency required for us to provide high quality of care. And this is quotes from a recent article, this published in 2017. It's interesting, it says, specialty certification in nursing may positively affect patient care quality. Why this is may, do you know? We don't have enough evidence. We don't have enough evidence. So for those of us who are certified, it's very important for us to demonstrate certification, our commitment to our specialty make a difference in patient care. So hopefully we will see more of that evidence. Also, we are in a political climate where we have to really show how we are under scrutiny of how our practice is measured. So certification is a one way to really showcase our clinical practice. Because why this is important? Because as a nurses, once we have a license, right after you graduate from nursing school, you take a test. That's it, right? You don't have to take test again. We are not required to be certified. So it's our initiatives to do this. So I want to ask you, how many of you are certified? All of you? Oh, wow. So what is the reason for you to seek certification?
Honestly, I wanted to measure my own knowledge base and make sure that I was practicing to the best standards that I could be.
Mm-hmm. How about
it was the first time it was offered in the United States in 1994.
Oh, so you took the one.
In the Visiting Nurses Association, we were all supervisors, and we got together, and we taught each other the different sections, and all of us passed.
Oh, wow.
There were 483 of us, I believe, 82, 83, and I got this letter that I put up in my office that says so. But it was a kind of a groundstone, something that we wanted to achieve. We felt that we were excellent practitioners, but we wanted some substantiation of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we did it.
Wow, that's honor to be in the same room with you. So, because this is voluntary, we don't have to take it. Many of us are not required. How many of you are certified and your job actually pays for the certification? Okay. So more and more, I see support for certification, and many organizations start to pay for our certification, but not so much if you ask professional regulation. How state sees this specialty certification is very different. I was fortunate to be involved in a campaign. It's called Certified Nurses Everywhere campaign. We actually went to the TV station where opera show used to tape, and we shot the commercials for TVs, and our picture was in the mall and the side of the bus, and it was a big campaign. I'm not sure you've seen it, but we put a lot of effort to it. And it was not only Hospice and Palliative Nurses Association effort, it's a collaboration with many organizations. And during this process, we review what's happening in each state and realize that only 32 states recognize RN specialty certification for continuing education. So if you're those states, if you're certified, you automatically meet the CE requirement for license renewal. But if it's like a state, like where I'm from, Chicago, Illinois, they don't quite understand the certification require more CE than the 20 hours they require us to have for license renewal. So it was an interesting conversation with the state professional regulation to talk about this. And I felt like, wow, we really have to explain to them how much additional education goes towards our certification. But more troubling things that we found was there's some state doesn't have any requirements. So any of you from these states listed in here? Yeah, so in the license, once you get the NCLEX, pass the NCLEX, and you become a RN, who monitor competency? That's what's really surprising. And in a way, I think this is a great opportunity for you, the people who come from these states. There are lots of work need to be done. Because in a way, it's almost like asking students to take a test and honor code. Yes, I will keep up with my education, but if you don't monitor them, you really can't, we cannot make sure that the patient get the highest quality of care. So these states, I'm really rooting for these states. And if you talk about advocacy and policy, how many of you feel passionate about that? I feel like I have to do this policy work or the advocacy work. One or two? Not the majority. I interview a lot of people through this process. I talk to all the nurses who are certified, and they say, my heart is patient care, direct patient care. And I don't want to talk with politicians, or I don't want to get involved in this policy things. It's too far from patient care. But as a nursing leaders, we really have to know what's going on in our states, and we have to take action. And a great example is one of my colleagues at my university. She said she loves direct patient care. Public policy or any advocacy work is so far. I wasn't interested. But she cared for the heart failure patients. Over and over, she saw, we need to get palliative care in sooner. She's seen it, she witnessed. Patients suffer, going back and forth, nursing home to acute care, nursing home to acute care. And she felt like she needed to do something. So she was actually involved in a American Heart Association position statement. And she's the first, she really crafted the message. And this is what the statement they came up. Palliative care is central and should be integrated into the treatment of patients with heart disease and stroke. Central and should be integrated into the treatment of patients with heart disease and stroke. And coming from outside of this, our community is to have a power. It's a strong statement, and she's really proud of that. But she said she never imagined being part of something like that. But it's just a great example of how one nurse, their commitment to patient care, come up with such a impactful statement that it impacts so many patients. So we talked a little bit about how we are happy about being certified, and we ourselves are motivated enough to get certification. But we have about, please correct me if I'm wrong, we have once we are certified because we become a hospice nurse or we start working as a palliative care nurse, and the organization pay for you to get the first certification. Is it about 40%, Sandy, who are certified? Recertification. Mm-hmm. But 40%. So all of us are certified, but we lose 60% during the initial certification and recertification. So that's another area we really have to work on to showcase how much certification means for us, and most importantly, impact patient care. And go ahead.
Has the board or anyone ever polled as to the people that don't recertify and the reasons why? I mean, that's a pretty large number. So
It is. But do you think this is something really high, particularly for this organization? It is not. And I feel like that much patient falls through means that it's a system issue. And I think we had a discussion almost 5 years ago, I think. Previous CEO, Judy Lenz, and I was talking about this, and she said, I think to promote certification, we will not make it easier. We want more from certified nurses. We want to keep the standard high, because by keeping the standard high, we can demonstrate our excellence. That will help us have more nurses being certified. So this is this HPAR process. It's not the test. It's require you to really demonstrate your competency. And I think this is a great leadership, and I think it shows the character of our HPCC board for take on this. Just for you to know, the certification is 4 years. Why we want to, recertify is because we want to maintain our competency and knowledge. Even though it's not required for us, we want to, and we want to create a culture of everybody want to have this certification and recertify to continually demonstrate our competency. So testing may be easy, but that does not assure our continued competency. That's why this process started. And this is just an overview of how this HPER submission process and the cost. And I just put this for CHPN because it's easier to see it. And you have 1 year before your certification expires. So you have 4 years coming to the 30 years. And next year, my certification will be expired. That's when you can start submitting this your documentation through the Learning Builder. And you have 1 year before you can start, and you have till 8 weeks before your certification expires. And once you miss these dates, you feel like, oh no, I missed it. No, it's still okay, because you just have to pay extra $100, and they will still help you process this. It's almost like a rush fee in a way, but and you missed the deadline. And I know because I heard from a lot of people in the Chicagoland chapter, I missed it. This is the end of it. I lost my certification. No, this is the most forgiving process, and it really shows character of a wonderful organization. Even you missed it, it doesn't mean you lost it. It just went to sleep in a way, and you have to reactivate. You cannot do this online because you already passed the renewal process, but you need to contact HPCC, and you have to pay $175. But they will give you 3 years of grace period where you can reactivate license. And this is very important. If you have people who, those 60 people who are lost in a process, you have 3 years to get them back on board. So this is going to be my focus. Such a great suggestion you said that we should interview those who, right?
I wonder, not that we should ever make it easier.
Uh-huh.
We continue to hold the bar high.
Mm-hmm.
The point of a certification is not so that it's easy to obtain, but I wonder what is the deterrent from maintaining it.
Yeah.
You got it initially, and maybe it is cost or something because the organization doesn't pay, but you wonder why they don't keep it up. Did they leave hospice or palliative practice, or I'd just be curious to see
Right?
the reasoning.
And those information is what the HPCC needs, because I have never seen an organization, if I say something, I think this can be improved. Next week it's done, or next month it's done. It's just so, go ahead.
Very briefly, we have interviewed them every year, those who do not renew. And it's a combination of left the specialty, retiring, no fee that people don't pay for reimbursement, a lot of employers. And more recently, and Masko will get into it, a lot of, in the last year or two with some of those changes, it was a little cumbersome and complex. And so the board has addressed that, and it's being rolled out this week, which is why Masko will continue that.
Yeah. So that's how closely they monitor us, but I think it's really helpful if you talk to the members. You used to be certified, what's the reason? How can I help you? And if you gather those information, then relate to the our leadership, that will really be helpful. And so the HPAR requirement is the practice hours and the professional development activities. So practice hours, just it's easy to understand. The professional development activities, this is a little more complicated. We require four things. There's four categories. One is the situational judgment exercise, continuing education, scholarly accomplishment, and professional contributions. Continuing education, I think this is easier for us to understand, right? Many of us get this through work. But one thing I want to tell you, they're watching carefully. And I was audited, and I have to show every single document I submitted is correct and meet the requirements. Requirement is you can't just submit it just because it says CEs. It has to help you enhance your expertise in hospice and palliative nursing. So be mindful of that. And 4 years is a long time to keep track. And if you're trying to do this 8 weeks before your expiration day, that's really difficult. So the HPCC have actually the CE tracking mechanism for you to keep track. So use those resources. That is really helpful. Another one that I often feel, I worked in an academic institution, and the scholarship is my kind of area of specialty. So, but when I talk to the nurses, practicing nurses, I often hear this is too intimidating. I don't do any poster presentation or journals. I have nothing to submit. And I do review for the assembly, and every year we have a more submission of abstract done in a community agencies, the QI project, or interesting patient. If you have any interesting case report, abstract is 250, 200. It's very short. Submit them, and we still have a submission we are accepting submission for HPNA annual assembly for Boston next year. So there's plenty of time, and that's something that leaders should help. This is not something foreign. The assembly is really for everybody, researcher, educators, clinicians. So we want to hear from you, and we encourage you to submit the case report or something, and it's all count towards HPAR. And professional contributions, so yeah, you guys are here, so you can mark this, right? You can submit this as your HPAR points. And everything you do, HPCC is trying to make it easier for you. So if you precept students in the past 3 years, trying to get all the information is difficult. So HPCC has actually preceptor form that you can use. So you will make sure that all the information you need for the recertification is collected. And I will even suggest that let the instructor fill those up for you. Course number, how many students, how long. So you will have those information on hand. And orienting staff, volunteer service, as I said, these are all counted. And the situational judgment exercise, this is probably the one that everybody feel intimidated. But this is not the pass-fail test. It's almost like I feel like this is a refresher course. It's an open book, and you have case scenarios. And even you completely fail, you still get 5 points. And if you get 5 points, you just need to get more CE or more other activity point. But it doesn't mean anything that you fail. You can't fail this.
Where is the guideline for the points?
Yes, there's a guideline for the points, and I will show you. Go ahead.
Can you do this more than once?
So this is more than once. What do you mean? So this is an online test, and you will access, and you have 30 days to finish.
Suppose you get your review back and
Uh-huh.
you earned 5 points.
You have a 5 point. You can't do it twice, but do you need to do that twice? it just means that you have to, maybe you need an extra CE points, or maybe you need to do more volunteers. It's all about accumulation of 100 HPAR points. 100 points. So this is really small part of the HPAR points, but it's cost you, and it takes 30 days. You have to finish within 30 days of your purchase. Go ahead.
When are you supposed to take it? Because you have to take it as part of your research, right?
Anytime.
Anytime.
You just can take it anytime.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
The previous slide though said that it had 12 months.
To submit. So one thing I want to emphasize is that we have a learning builder where you can access any time and start putting the information as you go along. You know, if you teach something, you put it in. If you present something, you put it in. If you press up, you put it in. Then you have to just submit it before 1 year, so 1 year before your expiration of your certification. So you can build your learning builders. Go ahead.
So if I don't expire
Mhm.
for 2 years in the future, could I go and do the exam tomorrow and
Mhm.
contribute that to my
Sure.
further?
Sure, that part is done for you, right? And it's really, if you miss anything, what it does is to give you a rationale so that you can go over the things that you missed. You have to help people understand this is not really a stressful process. And this is how the screenshot looked like, that you purchase this exam, and then you will go into your HPCC specific test site and take a test. And then because it's online, sometimes you have a glitch with your computer. Most of the time, that's the browser issue. And if you're not familiar with computer and you don't know why your computer is acting this way, contact HPCC. They are so helpful in helping you. And they also created this software instruction page, but it really shows how you take an exam and everything you need to set up for you before you take exam. This is very helpful. So point is, you have everything on the HPCC website, details, information. All you need to do is to look for those information. And I want all of you to be the super user of HPNA and HPCC website. So people ask you about, I don't know where I can purchase the situational judgment exercise. Here is where where you go. So you create the super users and help guide chapter member get through this process. It's really, once you get used to it, this is a very user-friendly systems. And then even more, because we care so much about you and we want to make this easier, board really listen, HPCC board listens, and yes, this is too much for us to submit scholarly accomplishments. This used to be a required component, but now it is not. And you don't, we removed the mandatory 10 points for the scholarly accomplishment. You just need to fill out, get more points from other categories. And we also give you more points, like a volunteer professional contributions you're doing for your chapters. We give you more points now. So I'm really excited about those changes. And also, all 6 programs have exact same points. So these are the new points. Everybody need to earn 100 total points. So situational judgment, if you get 5 points, that means you have to earn 95 points in other categories. That's it. So that shouldn't be too much stress. And you can take it now or you can take it later. If you get 20 points, then you need to earn 80 points in other categories, CEUs and professional contributions. And this is hard to remember. You don't have to remember. Once you go to the HPAR Learning Builder, all the points limits and maximum is all listed. And even you don't have to check, you just upload them and they will show you in a green bar 100% you met, or you need a little bit more. Everything is in there, very user-friendly. But for those people who are a little bit intimidated by this process, I created a short how-to video of how to submit the Learning Builder. So anybody who is interested, I'm happy to share that with you. And finally, let's celebrate being the hospice and palliative nurses. And HPNA, if you go to the annual assembly, they have a very nice free lunch for the nurses who are certified. And but this you have to register. And every year when I go conference, you have a long line of people who haven't registered for this luncheon. But I strongly recommend to go there. It's just feel a sense of belongings and a wonderful feeling. Also, because you're nurse leaders, I want you guys to take initiatives and change the culture. Doing what? I think it's still young for us to just promote hospice and palliative nurses. We have to promote certification first in our organization. So American Nurses Credentialing Center give you a lot of tools for you to use. So you have stickers you can print out, you have posters, template. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create anything. Go this website and download everything. Finally, share your stories. This is a Certified Nurses Everywhere app, and it's a very easy recording app for you to share your story. So during this conference, if you are willing to put your passion forward and say something about hospice and palliative nurse, let me know. I can record and upload it to our website. And finally, my mentor, Judy Pace, she always put this slide at the end of her presentation. Never doubt that small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. She taught me this, and when I met her 20 years ago, she was teaching in a small dark room basement of our university, just maybe 5 people. Now I see she present in thousands of audience. So this is really a true statement of how she does, and we can be like her, hopefully someday.